My Backstory, A Brief History of My Life. Part 10, AJ Ferreira. There were, unfortunately, several other peers of mine that passed away between when I was 18 and 28. These peers were people that I had gone to school with, people who I remember positively, who I remember fondly. Benjamin, who I went to elementary and middle school with, passed away from suicide. Cassandra, who I went to elementary and middle school with, passed away from cancer. Madison, who I went to middle school with, passed away from suicide. Brendan, who I went to elementary and middle school with, passed away from suicide. Caleb, who I went to high school with, passed away from an opiate overdose. Patrick, who I went to elementary and middle school with, passed away from a heroin overdose. Dylan, who I went to elementary and middle school with, passed away from a drug-related scenario. Losing this many of my peers was very difficult, and even though many of them I did not spend much time with, I still hold them dear to my heart, and wish that they had not gone so soon. They deserved much more life than what they were given. Unfortunately, over the years, I had multiple suicide attempts, beginning around the time that I was in middle school. I tried several methods, but obviously my attempts failed, and that is why I'm still alive, lucky to be alive. More so. I rarely ever told anyone when I would attempt to take my life, and often I would continue about my days as completely normal, but masking the true emotional pain and exhaustion that I felt deep inside. I learned that no one really ever truly cares until a person is already gone, and no way did I ever want to be a burden to people. But I kept on going, and keep on going to this very day, no matter what I go through. In the spring of 2023, I began shifting my outlook on my life with the help of group therapy at the Institute of Living in Hartford. I began doing a lot of reflecting on my life and began seeing therapy as a way that I could heal, instead of just something that was pointless. I remember one day, during a check-in group, it got to be my turn to share, and I shared how I felt this anger towards myself. There was an intern, Olivia, and she was running the group that day. She asked me to explain more about what the anger felt like, and I said in front of the group that I was mad at myself, and that it was as if I wanted to scream at the younger version of myself. Olivia began talking about how I had an inner child, and she deliberately asked me, "You wouldn't scream at a child, would you?" And I said, "No, that's messed up, to yell at a child." Then I remember her saying, "Then why would you yell at your inner child? You must want to be kind to your inner child, don't you?" To which I replied, "Fuck you," in front of the group. I proceeded to feel very uncomfortable, and I stopped talking and just broke down crying in group. Later, I apologized to Olivia and told her that she made me think about my life with her statement, and that I would like to learn to be more kind to my inner child. This sparked a new perspective in me that I have been working on and developing since that day. Continue with Part 11 for the rest of the story, AJ Ferreira.